It's 2 a.m. The house is quiet. The world is asleep. You should be asleep too. Your body's exhausted, but your mind is running a marathon. Suddenly, a thought from 5 years ago pops into your head. A mistake you made at work, a slightly awkward conversation, or a fear about the future that didn't bother you at noon. But now in the silence of the night, it feels catastrophic. You feel a heaviness in your chest that wasn't there 3 hours ago. You feel lonely even if your partner is sleeping right next to you. You feel like you're falling behind, like you're broken. Here is the strange part. If you wake up tomorrow morning and think about these exact same problems, they will shrink. They will look manageable. But right now in the dark, they feel like the end of the world. Why? Why does the human brain turn against itself when the sun goes down? Why do we only seem to break when we are alone? Psychology tells us this isn't random. And more importantly, it isn't a sign of weakness. There is a biological switch that flips in your brain every night. Tonight we are going to look at the neuroscience of why you fall apart at night and why, strangely enough, it might be exactly what you need. To understand this nightly collapse, we have to look at the architecture of your brain, specifically the relationship between two key players, the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala. Think of your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain right behind your forehead, as the CEO of your mind. It's responsible for logic, reasoning, impulse control, and emotional regulation. When you get an angry email at 10 a.m. and you decide not to throw your laptop out the window, that is your prefrontal cortex doing its job. It tells you, relax, it's not a big deal, we can handle this. But here is the catch. The prefrontal cortex is like a muscle. It gets tired. Every decision you make during the day, every email you answer, every fake smile you give to a coworker drains its battery. By the time 10 p.m. rolls around, your CEO has clocked out. It is exhausted. It goes offline. But your amygdala, the primitive, emotional center of your brain, responsible for fear and anxiety, it never sleeps. In fact, research shows that the amygdala becomes more reactive when you are tired. So this is what happens at night. The rational part of your brain, the CEO, has left the building, leaving the emotional, irrational part of your brain, the toddler, in charge of the control room. That problem that seemed manageable at 2 p.m., without your prefrontal cortex there to rationalize it, your amygdala perceives it as a life or death threat. That is why you aren't just thinking about your problems at night. You are feeling them with an intensity that doesn't match reality. You aren't overreacting. You are chemically undefended. But biology is only half the story. The other half is how we live our modern lives. We live in the age of the distraction economy. From the moment you wake up, you are running. Podcast in the shower, music on the commute, emails at work, TikTok on the toilet, Netflix while you eat dinner. We have become masters at drowning out our internal monologue. Many of us use busyness as a drug. We keep moving so we don't have to feel. As long as the noise is loud enough, the thoughts can't catch us. But then night comes. You put the phone down, the lights go out, the noise stops. This creates what psychologists call a distraction void. When the external stimulation disappears, your brain essentially goes into withdrawal. All those suppressed emotions, the stress from the meeting, the sadness you ignored, the anxiety about money, they have been waiting in the hallway all day. And now you've finally opened the door. They rush in all at once. It feels like an ambush, but it's actually a backlog. You aren't suddenly sad at night. You are finally feeling the sadness you successfully ignored for 14 hours. The silence of the night doesn't create the demons. It just reveals them. Once the distractions are gone, your brain enters a specific neurological state called the default mode network, or DMN. This is the network that activates when you aren't focused on a specific task. When you're daydreaming or trying to fall asleep, the DMN lights up. Evolutionarily, the DMN was designed to help us solve problems. It scans the past for mistakes and scans the future for threats. It's a survival mechanism. In the wild, reflecting on what went wrong today could save your life tomorrow. But in the modern world, the DMN becomes a torture chamber. It puts your brain in replay mode. You start replaying conversations. Why did I say that? Did they think I was stupid? Why didn't I stand up for myself? You start simulating future catastrophes. What if I lose my job? What if I never find love? What if my health fails? During the day, you can snap out of this loop by focusing on a task. I have to finish this report. But at night, lying in the dark, there is no task to pull you out. You are trapped in the loop. The DMN spins faster and faster, turning a minor embarrassment into a fundamental character flaw. This isn't thinking, it's rumination, and it thrives in the dark. There is another layer to this that's specifically for high achievers and people who identify as the strong ones. If you are the type of person who holds it together for everyone else, night is dangerous. Being okay takes a tremendous amount of energy. Staying calm when you want to scream, being patient when you are irritated, projecting confidence when you feel insecure, this is emotional labor. We wear a mask all day. We wear the mask of the competent employee, the supportive partner, the stable parent. By nightfall, you are simply too tired to keep the mask on. The weight of the mask becomes unbearable. When you are alone in your room, you don't have to perform for anyone. There is no audience. And because there is no audience, the performance drops. This is why you might find yourself crying over a dropped glass of water or a sentimental commercial at 11 p.m. It's not about the water, it's about the 12 hours of holding your breath. It's the release of the tension you've been carrying in your shoulders, your jaw, and your chest. This heaviness you feel, it's the cost of being strong. Finally, we have to talk about loneliness. Even if you love your solitude, nighttime loneliness hits differently. This is hardwired into our DNA. For our ancestors, being alone at night meant death. Separation from the tribe in the dark made you vulnerable to predators. So human beings evolved to feel a spike in cortisol, stress hormone, and a drop in serotonin, well-being hormone, when isolated in the dark. Your brain is subtly signaling you are alone. This is unsafe. Find the tribe. In 2026, you are safe in your apartment. There are no predators. But your ancient brain doesn't know that. It translates that ancient survival fear into modern emotional ache. You scroll through social media, looking for connection, but all you see are highlight reels that make you feel even more isolated. You text people who don't reply because they are asleep, and that silence confirms your brain's worst fear. I am all alone. So, knowing all of this, the prefrontal cortex shutdown, the distraction void, the DMN loop, what do we actually do? How do we stop the spiral? First, we need a cognitive reframing. You need to label the experience. When the sadness hits at 2 a.m., say to yourself, this is not reality. This is biology. Remind yourself, my CEO is asleep. My emotional brain is throwing a tantrum. I do not need to solve my life problems right now because I am not equipped to solve them right now. There is a rule I use called the after 10 p.m. rule. It's simple. I am not allowed to make serious decisions or judgments about my life after 10 p.m. If I feel like my life is falling apart, I tell myself, if this is still a crisis at 10 a.m. tomorrow, I will panic then. 90% of the time, the crisis evaporates with the morning sun. Second, you need to empty the cache. If the DMN is looping, you need to get the thoughts out of your head. Writing them down is the most effective way to do this. It's not about keeping a diary, it's about brain dumping. Write down exactly what you are afraid of. Once it is on paper, your brain feels it has been recorded, and it can stop the loop. You are telling your brain, it's written down. We won't forget it. Now you can let go. If nights are heavy for you, please remember this. You are not broken. You are human. The fact that you feel deeply at night is a testament to how much you carry during the day. Your mind isn't trying to hurt you. In its own twisted way, it's trying to process the life you are living. So tonight, when the feelings come, Don't fight them. Don't doom scroll to numb them. Just acknowledge them. I see you. I'm tired. We will figure this out tomorrow. Rest is not just about sleep. It's about allowing yourself to put down the weight of being you. If this video helped you understand your mind a little better, share it with someone who might be struggling in silence. And subscribe for more deep dives into the psychology of modern life. Sleep well.